Good morning, brothers. Craig James here from MasculineByDesign.com. Give me a follow on Twitter at MasculineDesign. All right, this morning, man, I want to talk to you about what to do when your wife is not following your lead. A lot of men come into marriage and they've spent time owning their life, having their act together. It's how they got their wife to commit to them, how they ended up married to her. Then as the months and the years go by in marriage, they start to let those commitments that they had made to themselves go. Their self-discipline starts to wane. They put on weight. They aren't as assertive in the home. They aren't taking that position of leadership seriously that God has given them as men inside of the home, to lead the wife and the children, to be the head of the household. Now, when men come to the realization that they've let their God-given responsibility slip and they start to turn things around, one of the most frustrating things that men message me about is they start to turn their lives around. They start to hit the gym. They start taking ownership over their duties at work, working to earn more money, be men of higher value, start dressing better, having better style, grooming themselves well, start taking charge in the home, making decisions, setting direction for themselves and for their wives and for their children. And their wives don't follow their lead. You know, as a man goes, so the family goes. And when a man has let his duties in the home slip, when his masculine role has not been filled, 9 times out of 10, the feminine role is not being filled. When a man lets his body go to crap, oftentimes the wife's body goes to crap. When a man is not eating healthy, oftentimes his wife and his children are not eating healthy. When a man displays little self-discipline, oftentimes his wife and his children display little self-discipline. Part of what it means to be the head of the house. You get the blessing and the reward of knowing that a home that is managed well, a home that is functioning well, a home that has direction and purpose and meaning, and the members of that home are thriving. We get the blessing of knowing that we have a very strong hand in that. But when things go awry, that's on us as well, men. And things that take shape over months and years don't just change overnight. You're not going to improve them overnight. Still, there are things that we can do as men, as leaders of the home, to make sure that those underneath our leadership are following in our footsteps. So as you start exemplifying self-discipline, as you start taking control over your health and your fitness, your intellect, the way that you lead, you start asserting yourself, making decisions on the way the family needs to be going. It can be frustrating when your wife does not follow suit. Maybe she's not completely resisting you, but she's not necessarily on board, or she's not doing the same things that you're doing. You know, maybe you're working to get your body in shape and she just doesn't follow that lead. You know, you're trying to eat healthy, you're going to the gym, and she's not. Or maybe she's not to the degree that you'd like her to. Well, what a lot of men do is something that a leader should never do. They take cracks at their wives or their kids over the things they're not doing. You know, they'll make sly comments about how she's eating something she shouldn't eat, or how her weight isn't getting any better, or how much better she would look if she lost 30 pounds and whatnot. While those things might be true, those don't inspire change in anybody. As a leader, it is your job to exemplify positive change and also inspire it in others, and make sure that they are set up for success. A lot of times I'll press men who tell me their wives aren't going to the gym as to what they're doing to make sure their wives have time each day or several days each week to go to the gym. well, I tell my wife I need her to go to the gym, and I want her to get in shape and look healthy. Like, all right, well, are you offering to take care of the home and watch the kids 3 days a week so she can go to the gym, 4 days a week, whatever it is? Well, no. I just figured she would take the initiative and do it. It's not what a leader does. A leader does not wait for someone else to take the initiative. A leader sets those underneath his leadership up for success. If that means you watch the kids for an hour 3 days a week so she can do the things that you have told her and have directed her are important to you and to the family and to the example that the two of you are setting for your children, if you're not doing your part to make sure that she is set up for success, that is on you. Now, if you are offering to take the kids, if you're offering to open up some time in her schedule to do those things, and she's still not wanting to do it, you need to have a very frank conversation. So, what's going on? Like, this is important to me. It should be important to you. I'm using the gym and physical fitness as an example because that's an easy, tangible way to get this point across. But it can apply in just about any area that we are leading in the home. Could be the way that you guys have decided to discipline your kids. If you see that discipline slipping when your kids are crossing boundaries, and maybe your wife is being too light with them, or she's not enforcing when those boundaries are crossed, you need to have a very frank discussion about what that looks like. Also, why it's important. Inspiring is not just leading by example, but it's also being able to explain your positions and articulate them in a way that makes those under your leadership understand the importance of the direction you are setting. This is true in business, and it's also true in the home. Talk to your wife. Let her understand why these things are important, not just for you, but for your children and for your children's children, and for the legacy that you guys are leaving behind, for the mark that each of you are going to make on the world by the way that you are leading in the family. But that starts with us as husbands. It starts with the head. If we are failing in our responsibility to lead, we cannot expect our wives to just pick up the ball and run with it. Run with that leadership. That's not the way women were created. They will do that, but they will resent you, and your home will be in a state of chaos to some degree. When the man fails to lead, chaos sets in. That is not a crack against the woman at all. That is your responsibility. That is our responsibility as men. If that chaos sets in, that's on us. It's because we are failing to take charge, failing to set the direction, and set all of those who we are leading up for success. So if your wife is not following your lead, one thing that I see guys doing as well is they give up. They throw their hands up. My wife's not following my lead. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong. That's not necessarily the answer. Like I said, there may be some things you need to be doing to better set the tone for her. Explain why you're doing what you're doing. Explain why it's important. But at the end of the day, men, we have to be doing the things that are best for us and for our families. If our wife is not following suit, we do not change those behaviors. We do not change that example of excellence that we are setting forth in the way that we are living and the way that we are leading. That example has to be in place. We do not compromise who we are as men because those underneath our leadership do not follow. Your wife is still an agent with free will. She can make decisions that you might not like and you might not agree with, and that might be detrimental to your home. Most of the time when a man takes charge and he's leading by his words and also by his example, over time, those underneath his leadership will fall underneath the direction that he is taking them. However, it's not always the case, and it will not always be the case in everything that you are leading in. But that does not mean that you stop doing what you know is right for you and your family. If you have decided that something is the best direction to take for you and for your wife and for your children, you keep doing it. Again, have very frank discussions with your wife if she isn't following suit. Sometimes our wives have insights that we may not see. Sometimes our wives see things that help open our eyes to things that we should be doing differently or doing better. That's okay. That's part of a wife's responsibility in the home. She is a helpmate. She is a helper. She is to speak up if she sees that we are not leading well. It doesn't make you any less alpha or any less a leader. I bring up things to my boss at work all the time. If I see that some decision is having an adverse impact, because I see things underneath the hierarchy of the organization that he may not see. I see impacts of the decisions he's making that he may not see. It's the same thing with our wives. We don't approach this as some domineering man who just sets direction and expects everybody to listen and brings down the iron fist if they don't. You can try to lead that way, but I promise you it will not end well. You're not inspiring anybody. They will not change. And if they do change, it's not genuine. And it won't be effective. All right, man, I'm about to be at work here, so I'm going to cut this off. I have more I could say, but I'm going to open this up. If you guys have anything to add to this, if you have experiences with getting your wife or your kids to follow your lead after some time of failing in that charge of leadership, leave me a comment below here. Get that discussion going on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button so you are notified as I produce videos here on a near daily basis, as often as I can. My goal is to help men reclaim who they are, who they've been created to be by Almighty God as leaders in the home and in society. And that is done for their betterment, for the betterment of their families, and for the betterment of society as well. That's what these videos are for. That is the content that I produce. It is to help you be a better man. So be sure to subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Also, make sure to go to the blog at masculinebydesign.com and sign up to get my newsletter at masculinebydesign.com/newsletter, where I provide more intimate insights into the way that I'm leading in my home and the way that I'm living as a man, and doing so with the intention of being an exemplary man in a society that is steeped in mediocrity. So that's all that I have, man. Again, you can check me out on Twitter at Masculine Design. Until next time, this is Craig James. I am out.